Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going straight into the deep end, talking about cognitive endurance.
Yeah, that ability to stay sharp, focused, keep your energy up, and importantly, manage emotions under pressure.
Exactly. Not just for an hour, but, over those really long, grueling sessions of high-stakes work.
It's really the hidden superpower for any elite performer, isn't it? Whether you're a trader, a surgeon, maybe even a long-haul driver, or like a chess
Or
grandmaster.
just someone trying to get through a complex 8-hour negotiation, right?
Absolutely. The mental load is just immense. So our mission today is basically to crack the code on the routines, diet, fitness, mental stuff that make that sustained effort actually possible.
And this isn't just like abstract theory. We're digging into the specific routines that professionals use when tiny errors or a split-second delay can cost, well, a fortune.
Right. It's kind of a blueprint, really, for peak performance in any situation where you need your brain firing on all cylinders for a long time.
Okay, so where do we start? What's the foundation?
Well, the research is pretty stark on this. Your physical condition directly impacts your decision-making quality. We like to think the mind is separate, but nope, they're completely tied together for long-haul performance.
Okay, give me the immediate connection. How does my physical state actually mess with my mental game?
Okay, think about cortisol, the stress hormone. Carrying extra weight. That's directly linked to having higher baseline cortisol levels, just day to day.
And high cortisol does what exactly, mentally speaking?
Well, it impairs complex judgment. It makes assessing risk kind of fuzzy. It definitely shortens your fuse, reduces patience.
So basically, if my body's stressed, my mind is stressed, no matter what's actually happening in the task itself.
Precisely. And the flip side is also true. The sources show that losing even a bit of weight can significantly boost mental clarity, alertness, even improves posture, which sounds minor, but it helps.
How does posture help? Less discomfort.
Yeah, exactly. When the body's running efficiently, not fighting discomfort or excess weight, there's just more energy and mental bandwidth left over for the hard cognitive work.
Okay, that sets the stage perfectly. Treat the body like the engine for the brain. So let's start with fuel. Section 1, nutrition. What are the non-negotiables for feeding the brain for hours without that awful crash?
Right. The main goal here is nutrient density. You want steady, reliable energy delivery to the brain. So the right building blocks and the right kind of protection.
Okay, building blocks. Our sources point heavily to omega-3s. Fatty fish, walnuts, chia seeds, stuff known to be good for brain cells, memory, processing speed.
Absolutely fundamental. Think of those as like the structural integrity, but you also need armor, right? Protection. That's where antioxidants come in.
Leafy greens, colorful veggies,
Mm.
spinach, kale.
Yeah, exactly. Loaded with vitamins K, E, lutein especially. These actually help slow down cognitive decline over time. They protect your neurological function. It's like a shield against the wear and tear of intense thinking.
And I was happy to see the research backs up some tastier antioxidants too, berries and dark chocolate.
Oh yeah, and that's where you get a real competitive edge.
Yeah.
The flavonoids in berries protect brain cells from stress, but here's a really specific finding from studies in competitive settings. High antioxidant snacks during long sessions. They can help you maintain focus up to, get this, 35% longer.
Whoa, hang on. 35%. That's not a small number.
Not at all.
If you're in a 10-hour trading day, that 35% means you're either sharp in the final crucial hours or you're just completely fading.
It's enormous. It's the difference maker. And dark chocolate, specifically the 70% cocoa or higher kind, is key because it gives you theobromine.
Theobromine.
Yeah, it's a milder stimulant than caffeine, supports processing speed, alertness, but without that harsh crash you get from, say, pure sugar or too much coffee.
Okay, good tip. Now let's talk timing. You mentioned steady glucose. This leads us to the glycemic index effect. This is where a lot of people go wrong, grabbing the quick energy fix.
Oh, definitely. It's the difference between lighting, kindling, quick flare, then gone, versus feeding a slow-burning log. The glycemic index just measures how fast food spikes your blood sugar.
So simple sugars, white flour, that's the kindling.
Exactly. Quick rush, big spike, then bam, the crash. That spike floods the brain, then basically starves it right after.
Okay, so the slow-burning log is the complex carbs. Oatmeal, quinoa, sweet potatoes.
Precisely. They release glucose nice and slow. But the key move is pairing them with protein and healthy fats. Think avocado, nuts, eggs. That fat and protein slows digestion down even more.
And the payoff. What's the actual benefit in terms of focus duration?
It's pretty stark. The data shows meals low on the glycemic index can sustain your attention for 4 to 5 hours, a solid block of focus.
4 to 5 hours, wow.
Compare that to maybe 1 or 2 hours you get from the high sugar stuff. You're literally doubling, maybe quadrupling your cognitive endurance just by swapping, say, a sugary cereal for some oatmeal with nuts.
Okay, that is a massive return on investment. Simple change, huge impact. Before we move on, we have to hit the simplest thing that people still mess up.
Yeah.
Hydration.
The hydration shock factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk complex biochemistry all day, but sometimes it's just basic biology. People don't realize how fast even mild dehydration hits cognitive function.
How bad is it?
Research shows being dehydrated by just 1 to 2% of your body weight, which is not much, you might not even feel that thirsty yet, can slash your working memory capacity by about 15%.
15% drop in your ability to hold and juggle information just because you skipped a glass or two of water.
Yep. Think about it. By the time you actually feel thirsty, you're probably already past that 2% mark. That reduction means you start missing things, struggling to recall details, making errors you wouldn't normally make.
Yeah.
The mental cost of being just slightly thirsty is, well, huge.
Okay, message received. Water is non-negotiable. So fuel is optimized, hydration handled. Now the machine itself. Section 2. Physical stamina. Here's my question. If I'm sitting still for 8 hours, why do I need, like, a runner's cardio routine? Isn't that overkill?
That's a great question, and it gets right to the core of this. Physical fitness isn't just about muscle stamina. It builds mental stamina, resilience. You need that cardio precisely because you're sitting still so long.
How does running help my brain while I'm sitting?
Aerobic exercise boosts blood flow everywhere, including the brain. More blood flow means more oxygen, more glucose, the brain's fuel. It directly improves attention, memory, executive function.
And I read something even wilder. It helps grow new brain cells.
It does. It stimulates neurogenesis, the actual growth of new neurons. This directly links to better learning, better overall cognitive function. Exercise literally helps make you sharper for tomorrow's tasks.
Okay, that definitely changes the calculation. If it's mandatory for the edge, what's the prescription? What's the weekly breakdown look like?
We generally stick to the standard health guidelines because they work for this too. Aim for about 150 minutes of moderate activity per week.
So like 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Brisk walk, jog, cycling.
Exactly. And if you're really pressed for time, the sources are clear. Even short, sharp bursts help. 10 to 15 minutes of high-intensity interval training, HIIT, can give you a significant boost in alertness and blood flow pretty quickly.
Okay, makes sense. And since we're talking about sitting for hours, we have to counter the inevitable slump, right? The bad posture.
Oh, absolutely critical. 2 or 3 strength sessions a week, focusing on your core and upper back. Think planks, bridges, rows, maybe some push-ups.
Why those specifically?
They strengthen the muscles that hold you upright, your posterior chain, your core. If you neglect those, you end up hunched over after hours. And that physical discomfort, it absolutely becomes a mental distraction. It drains your focus.
Right. Pain steals mental bandwidth and flexibility. Stretching.
Yeah, maybe 10, 15 minutes daily. Basic stretches, maybe some yoga. Focus on the spine, hips, neck, wrists, all the places that get tight and cause nagging discomfort during long sedentary periods.
Okay, now here's something I found really interesting, the micro break strategy. Even if you do your 150 minutes a week, you can't just sit locked in place for 8 hours straight, can you?
No way. Absolutely mandatory to reset the system. Taking short breaks, just getting up, walking around, stretching every 60 to 90 minutes makes a huge difference in fighting cognitive fatigue.
Why that time frame? 60 to 90 minutes.
It ties into our natural ultradian rhythms. These are the body's natural cycles of energy and focus, typically lasting around 90 minutes, followed by a dip where we need a short recovery. Pushing through that dip without a break means you're just running on fumes, performance drops off a cliff.
Got it. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Section 3, training the mind itself. Beyond the physical, how do we build that mental toughness, the emotional resilience to handle, say, setbacks or high pressure?
Yeah, emotional control is huge. The sources really emphasize daily mindfulness practice, even just 10 minutes. Poker coaches, for instance, see a direct link. Players who meditate regularly, they don't just feel calmer.
They make better decisions.
Exactly. They make fewer impulsive decisions, especially after a loss or a bad beat. And they recover faster from those setbacks. It shortens that emotional tilt period where judgment goes out the window.
So you don't let one bad moment tank the next hour of work.
Yeah.
Be present. Don't dwell.
That's the core of it. And then the absolute bedrock of all cognitive performance, sleep. Good sleep hygiene. If you aren't getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, honestly, all the fancy diet and exercise is just patching over a fundamental problem.
What's actually happening in the brain during those 7 to 8 hours that's so vital?
A couple of key things. It's consolidating memories, moving important stuff from short-term to long-term storage, and crucially, it's cleaning house. There's a system called the glymphatic system that's most active during deep sleep.
Cleaning house, like literally.
Pretty much. It actively flushes out metabolic waste products, the neurological junk that builds up from a day of intense thinking. Skip sleep, that waste accumulates, and you get brain fog, sluggishness, impaired function the next day.
And exercise helps sleep, right? It's all connected.
It's a positive feedback loop. Exercise promotes better sleep quality, and better sleep enables clearer thinking and better performance, which makes it easier to exercise. It all links together.
Okay, one last thing in the mental training section. The caffeine question. It's the go-to crutch for so many of us, but the sources suggest handling it carefully for sustained performance.
Yeah, caffeine's a useful tool, no doubt. But relying on, say, sugary energy drinks or pounding back pot after pot of strong coffee, that often backfires. You get the jitters, anxiety, and then the inevitable crash, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid.
So what's the smarter alternative?
Often the suggestion is to switch to something like green tea. It still has caffeine, but usually less than coffee. And the really crucial difference is it contains L-theanine.
L-theanine. Why is that important?
It's an amino acid that works synergistically with caffeine. It actually promotes a feeling of relaxed alertness. It sort of calms the nervous system without making you drowsy.
Ah, so you get the energy boost from the caffeine.
Right. But the L-theanine smooths out the rough edges. It prevents that sharp spike, the anxiety, the jitters. You get more sustained focus without the nervous energy. It's a pretty neat biohack.
That is a good one. Okay, so we've got the diet, the fitness, the mental prep. Let's weave it all together. Section 4, the performance timeline. How does this look on the day itself, minute by minute almost?
Well, the prep ideally starts the night before. That evening meal actually matters. There's research suggesting a dinner rich in those omega-3s, whole grains, veggies can boost cognitive stamina the next day, gives the brain resources for that overnight cleanup and recovery we talked about.
Okay, good tip. Then, day of. Pre-session fuel, maybe 1 to 2 hours before you start the heavy mental lifting.
Yep, that's your balanced, low GI meal. Think eggs, oatmeal, maybe some whole grain toast with avocado, something that provides sustained energy. And crucially, hydrate early. Get a good 16-20 ounces of water in a couple of hours beforehand so you're fully topped up, not playing catch up later.
Okay, then you're in the thick of it. What's the strategy during the long session?
Snack smart, snack steady. Every 1 to 2 hours, have something small, nuts, a piece of fruit, maybe a small yogurt. Just enough to maintain that steady glucose level, prevent dips.
And those physical breaks.
Non-negotiable. Every 60 to 90 minutes, you have to take that scheduled break. Get up, walk around, stretch. If you skip it thinking you're saving time, your focus is already degrading, whether you realize it or not.
What about micro breaks? If you literally can't leave your seat.
Still valuable. Every 20 minutes or so, try the 20-20-20 rule. Look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Or just close your eyes for a minute. That brief sensory break, maybe picturing a calm scene, taking 3 slow, deep breaths, it helps reset focus, prevent eye strain, and mental fatigue.
And definitely avoid big, heavier, sugary meals mid-session, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's just asking for a massive energy crash right when you need focus the most.
Okay, finally, the session's over. Post-session recovery. What's the focus then?
Winding down. The brain needs to shift gears. Some light activity, like a short walk or gentle yoga, helps release physical tension. Rehydrate, properly replace the fluids you've lost. Eat a good, nutritious dinner. And if it was a late session, be really strict about sleep hygiene. Wind down, avoid screens, no late caffeine. Prioritize relaxation.
Okay, so bringing it all together, if there's one core takeaway for listeners from all this, what is it?
I think it's that consistency trumps perfection. You don't need to become a pro athlete overnight, but you do need to adopt some of the disciplined habits of an athlete. It's all interconnected.
So sensible diet, regular movement, the 150 minutes a week, daily mental practice.
Yeah, they aren't luxuries for high performers. They're basically the cost of entry if you want sustained peak cognitive output over the long haul.
It really is fascinating, isn't it? That the sources directly link things like consistent exercise, not just to stamina, but to actual brain changes, new neuron growth, better learning, more resilience.
Absolutely.
So if we accept that a seemingly sedentary activity like high-stakes trading or complex problem-solving actually demands the health habits you'd associate with, say, a marathon runner, just to stay mentally sharp.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? If that level of physical conditioning and neurosupport is needed for peak performance when you're sitting relatively still, what does that imply about the physical foundation you need for your most demanding professional or creative work? You just can't separate the body's health from the brain's ultimate potential.
That is definitely something worth mulling over as you plan your next big project and maybe your next walk. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.